Tata Consultancy Services, TCS, is set to let go of 12,261 employees.
Shares of Tata Consultancy Services or TCS dropped over 1% on Monday morning.
The fact that India's top IT major is laying off workforce was bound to attract attention, and a lot of it. And what has especially caught attention is the fact that most of these layoffs will be at the mid and senior levels.
Lesser clients translates to lesser work, which ultimately is leading to lower revenue because there's lesser people being built in lesser work. While TCS has started the ball rolling, other IT services providers are expected to follow suit. It is a little murky for not just the existing employees, but also college graduates who are looking to join an IT service provider. It was very clear that, even if TCS did not pay us all that well, we had one thing that we could take in our kitty, and that is a job stability. Now, if that job stability has gone out the window, it will for sure stoke some uncertainty.
TCS says that they want to be future ready and agile, and they are reworking their teams as per their requirements. They're also trying to focus on giving their workforce of over 6 lakhs wage hikes. And what has especially caught attention is the fact that most of these layoffs will be at the mid and senior levels. All of this at a time when AI led disruptions are changing workplaces, though the CEO says that AI doesn't have that much to do with the layoffs, and at a time when macroeconomic instability and geopolitical tensions have weighed on global tech demand. India's top IT services companies have delivered a somewhat sobering quarter. But what really went on behind the scenes? What's happening at TCS? Are other tech firms going to follow suit? And what does this mean for employees who are in the IT sector or those looking to join the IT sector? To decode all these questions that everyone has at this point, I'm joined by my colleague Jas Baradia. Thanks so much, Jas, for joining me here today.
Thank you, Sana. It's a pleasure.
All right, so first let's start off with what exactly is the real reason behind TCS's decision to fire 12,000 employees? Because many seem to believe that AI and automation could be a significant reason, but the TCS CEO has said that that's not really the case. So could you explain what exactly is happening?
Right. Two. There are two-pronged reasons to this. The first reason is obviously AI. Now, in the story that we had done, TCS CEO Kritivasan had already mentioned that it is also partly due to AI, IoT, digital engineering, a lot of other tech tools that the company is investing in. That for which they need specialized skills and workforces. So that is one reason, and the second reason can also be attributed to the slow growth of the company. Now, if we look at the Q1, TCS has recorded the slowest revenue growth sequentially in USD terms of all the top 5 Indian IT outsourcers. So what this basically implies is that there is slow demand. There are fewer clients trying to give business, and whatever existing clients there are, they are giving lesser business to TCS. Now, when you have lesser business coming in from a client, it's bound to be a case where there's not much work coming. Lesser clients translates to lesser work, which ultimately is leading to lower revenue because there's lesser people being built in lesser work. So two-pronged reason, as I said, just to reiterate, one is AI because companies are passing on productivity benefits, and the second is there is lesser work coming into TCS and other IT service providers.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, I think one significant point seems to be that it's largely mid and senior level employees who are going to be let go. So, does that mean that AI is coming for the big fish now that you've said that AI is definitely among one of the two reasons?
Pertinent point. So we've whatever we've gathered from analysts, they've all been of the view that while TCS has started the ball rolling, other IT services providers are expected to follow suit. Now, why mid and senior level employees? It's because they've reached a certain stage for which they can't they can't be reskilled or redeployed. Now, you can't expect someone who's been in a project for 3 years or 4 years to suddenly learn a new skill or advance whatever they've had as compared with someone who's fresh. Now, if you're looking at juniors or junior level employees, they're more susceptible to learning new things. They're more susceptible to accept new modules, come with new technical courses that will probably help them. as compared with someone whose growth has, for a lack of better word, almost plateaued in the company. Yeah.
Right. All right. And for the employees who have been fired or who will be fired, what kind of severance or benefits would they receive?
Right. So I think right off the bat, there's one thing that TCS would be doing is giving them a severance package. Now, I don't know the exact timeline of it for how many months, but it's generally like more than 2 months or more than 3 months of salary that these employees will be given because they've been told to leave. And if they have been underperforming, if they've been benched, if they've not been allotted to a project, then I guess they will be shown the door. But if they're not on the bench and if they are being told to go, I think a severance package will follow, which will essentially mean 2 to 3 months of their salary. So that is I think a standard procedure amongst all IT outsourcers, and we expect that to continue even with TCS.
All right. And what exactly does the fact that India's largest IT major is firing 12,000 people mean for the Indian IT ecosystem? Because TCS's stock has, of course, gone down after this announcement. So, is it in line with the global trends, considering that there are other major tech firms in the US, especially, who have also recently cut jobs? Or is there something more to it?
Right. So, if we look at what's been happening abroad for the big tech firms, this is something that we have been noticing that's been making the news. A lot of big tech firms have been laying off employees. I think Microsoft, with a recent example, uh, we can't say TCS is taking cue from the big tech, but the trend is sort of trickling down now because of AI and because of companies wanting to do more work with lesser people. Just to give an example, I think HCL Tech's CEO, C. Vijay Kumar, during a NASSCOM meet in Mumbai earlier this year, had made this comment during a panel conference where he said that we have already challenged our employees to do more work with fewer people. So I think that's the new reality that we will all have to adjust to. And a lot of IT outsourcers are coming to terms with the fact that yes, in the long term AI might create more revenue opportunities, but as of now, for the short term, it's a hope that AI will lead to more revenue or more benefits. So that is that, and we are expecting other IT outsourcers after TCS to follow suit, because it's always been a cyclical trend in Indian IT that if one company does it, the others generally follow.
Right. And what is this entire thing, since especially that you've said that most probably, other IT majors are going to follow suit. So what does this mean for anyone, all the employees in the IT sector or anyone who wants to join IT right now, those who are graduating or those who are planning for it? What does that mean for them? Do they need to upskill, or is this just a bad time to kind of join the sector?
So it is a little murky for not just the existing employees, but also college graduates who are looking to join an IT service provider. Back in the day, you had a lot of these engineering college graduates whose main dream was to join an IT company. And why an IT company? Because that would send them to on-site roles in the US or Europe, or they could live the American dream, or basically make a big buck outside India. But we look at this trend where offshoring has become more pronounced, wherein you're having a lot of executives stationed abroad being called back to India, and we expect that to happen. So that is one where a lot of college graduates might not get the chance to go to the US or Europe and work. And second, the pay is rather low. If we look at the average salaries that the IT services companies have been paying to their executives, especially freshers, it's not all that promising. And we don't look at any change as such now, considering the market is a little slow. There's a lot of uncertainty, a lot of demand uncertainty, a lot of geopolitical tensions. So we're seeing businesses down. We're seeing the new entrants into IT services companies not get a very high pay. And in TCS's context, especially, TCS was one company which has never really had layoffs, at least in the last decade or 2 decades, of this scale. The fact that this is happening in TCS, it will certainly stoke uncertainty in the mind of a lot of lateral hires as well as college graduates, because it was very clear that even if TCS did not pay us all that well, we had one thing that we could take in our kitty, and that is a job stability. Now, if that job stability has gone out the window, it will for sure stoke some uncertainty. But then again, when something happens, there's always a countermeasure to it. How could college graduates overturn this from mince conversation with analysts. Simple, reskill yourself, upskill yourself, keep learning, keep doing whatever's in vogue. And it's not like a one stop solution. A technology that might be useful today might not be useful, say, a year or 2 years later. So it's like a constant cycle of change where you have to keep adapting to new technologies, learn as much as you can so that you are always future ready and you are in contention, not just to get a job in an IT services firm, but also to get that job at a higher pay.
Right. So, from your conversation with analysts, have they at all given any specific skills right now that people should maybe be pursuing? I mean, those who are kind of graduating want to.
So it's the basic skills that we've been hearing for a while now. AI, machine learning skills, and there's one thing that's been really trending a lot is prompt engineering. And these aren't skills for which you need to pay a big buck. You could just do it online. You could do it from any of those portals online, and yeah, it's basically the AI ML kind of skills that are in vogue that a lot of executives want, and companies basically want people who can be skilled or who can be reskilled in case they don't. But if they come packed with all the skills that are needed for a client, then they will obviously not just get a higher pay, but they will also get a bigger role or a better role in, say, an IT services companies, or for that matter, even a GCC, because GCCs are focusing more towards specialized hiring now. So uh, at a better pay, obviously. So this is another nuance that people will have in mind. So yeah.
All right. Well, I just have one last question for you. After this whole TCS thing came out, the former CEO of Tech Mahindra, CP Gurnani, he said that these layoffs basically now imply that the period of judging Indian IT firms based on their headcount will soon be over, and now it will be a output and outcome based business model, which should likely be under focus. And anybody who, of course, listens to any of the tech company hearings would know that headcount has till now been one of the significant factors that they kind of focus on. So, is there any thing that you have to say about that? Any insight into that?
Right. So, a little history before I answer this. Earlier, what used to happen in IT services companies is that revenue would be linear to headcount. So, suppose revenue of company increases, the headcount would increase proportionally. If not proportionally, it would increase in tandem with revenue. But now what
Mhm.
is happening is even if revenue increases, companies are not looking at the headcount, whether it increases or whether it falls. Yes, it is still a determinant, but will it be a determinant in the future? Only time will tell. Because AI is having people do the same amount of work, if not more amount of work, with fewer people. So if I could do a task for $100 with 20 people today, I can do a task for $120 tomorrow with probably 10 people or 15 people. So that is the kind of reality that we're all staring at, something that even the experts have pointed out. And as we had the former Tech Mahindra CEO say himself, that we need to look at an output based model, which also implies the billing for an IT services company must be on the kind of work that is done rather than a prefixed contract. So rather than me having to work for $100, I would be given the $100 as and when I completed a certain amount of work in whatever time. So that is in just what an outcome based model essentially means. And that is, I guess, where we're headed. So
All right. Thank you so much, Joss, for giving us these insights. Is there anything that you would like to add? Anything that I missed asking which you feel is important?
no, I think we've covered all the bases. And I think one more point I feel we could have added is that mid cap companies now, instantly when something of this magnitude happens, we tend to look more at the large caps, that is the top five IT service providers. But what is also happening is that it will be useful for us to track whether mid cap companies also bear the brunt. Because mind you not, their growth over the last 2 years has been at a much quicker pace than say the top five. And there has been a lot of chatter on how a lot of these mid cap firms have insulated the Gen AI impact better than the top five. So whether this demand uncertainty comes to bite the mid cap, whether the mid caps, which already have a lower workforce, will also cut down on their existing strength, is something that we will have to see. But that is, I think, a conversation for another day, as and when it happens. And thank you for having me here. Yeah,
All right. Thank you so much for joining us. And thank you so much to all of our viewers for tuning in.
thank you, sir. Thank you.